Hey, it's Steve from Tower Genius. So let's talk about negotiating cell tower leases from the property owner's perspective, from your perspective. And I just wanted to preface this video. So I do not own any cell towers. All right, I've never been a cell tower landlord, believe it or not. It's not been my lot in life. My business partner Kevin Donahue actually has owned cell sites before, has been a cell tower landlord. I've looked at thousands of these things. I've helped to review and to negotiate and coach and consult on thousands of these transactions over my career. But this, once I retire and I get my ice cream truck here down by the beach and my boiled peanut barge down on Crab Island, I'll probably start buying cell tower properties, and maybe I can answer that question a little bit better, in a year or two. We'll see. But anyway, so if one of these tower companies or carriers knocked on my door, like, what would I do? Well, obviously, I don't want to get ripped off, right? I want to make sure that they're not taking up a ton of space. Let's say if they come to my property, let's say I have a rural property, and they want to put like a guide wire tower. They want to put up a 500-foot tower, and they want to take up 3 or 4 acres of land to put these guide wire anchors in. I'm probably not going to go for that, right? Because I don't want them to encumber a lot of my property. I probably want to go for a smaller leased area. Yeah, am I okay with them renting 100 by 100? Probably not. I probably want to go smaller than that and see if I can get away with a 190-foot tower that doesn't require a red light on top, and maybe like a 50 by 50 leased area or a 70 by 70 leased area. But here's the thing, if you have a neighbor that is willing to do a deal for $500 a month, that's where they're going to go. So I really would look for something where I can get a smaller leased area in case they ever needed more space. They can negotiate for ground space. And I probably wouldn't do a deal for less than $1,000 a month anywhere with anybody, if it was on a piece of land. I wouldn't be interested in a lease that was less than $1,000 a month. And that lease agreement would need to have annual rent increases, right? I'd want to see that rent amount escalate every year. I don't want to have a 1% kicker every year. I'd want to have a 3% kicker. I'd also want to have revenue share. I wouldn't want to do a deal where, let's say, Verizon hopped on the tower, and 2 years later AT&T hopped on, and then T-Mobile and Dish hopped on, and all of a sudden you got 4 different companies coming once a month to maintain their equipment at all hours of the day, and I'm only getting paid for one lease. I'm not interested in a deal like that. I'd rather walk away from it. If I had a rooftop cell site, depending on where it is, I don't think I'd lease it for less than $2,000. Again, you have people coming in and out of your building at all hours of the day. That's a huge inconvenience. So, if they can get the site cheaper for somewhere else. So, from my perspective, from the property owner's perspective, do I want a tenant that's going to be a real pain in the rear end? Because look, being a cell tower landlord it's mailbox money, but there's still a lot of inconveniences that come along with that, right? So, and for me, that threshold would be at a minimum $2,000 a month. If it's less than that, I'm not getting out of bed in the morning for less than that, period. So, once you start pushing that $3,000-$4,000 a month threshold, like if you have a great property in Austin or in LA or Bay Area or something, you have a building that's worth millions of dollars, do you really want them up there for less than $3,000 a month or $4,000 a month? Probably not. So again, I'm talking again. I'm not a cell tower landlord. I'm a consultant that's seen thousands of these deals. I'm just, from what my perspective would be. And then, if you have, the chances of getting one of these in your property are pretty slim. So if you really want to get in the game with these types of deals, go on to LoopNet or Crexi or one of these commercial real estate websites and start looking for cell towers in the advanced search. You can find them on commercial properties and look for properties that have these things. And then you can always, find out before you make an offer. You want to know what the deal is, what the lease, you want to see that lease agreement, right? So, and see if you can have an opportunity to renegotiate that in your lifetime or soon. And, that gives you an idea of what type of offer you can make. And then you can, become a cell site landlord that has, on a property that has, other commercial use. So anyway, that's just my thoughts. Again, I wouldn't do a deal on a rural property for less than $1,000 a month. Yeah, the offers are usually a lot lower, but from a property owner's perspective, that's just where I'm at. I wouldn't do a deal for less than $1,000 a month, and it's got to have annual rent increases and a few other things. So if you have questions about a cell tower lease, give us a call at Tower Genius. Our number is 888-313-9750. You can visit us at towergenius.com.